So what I was playing there, this sort of seemingly very complex kind of sequence, quite sort of atonal sequence. I can imagine it being used in a boss fight or something like that. It was all in fact derived from quite a simple and very easily understandable concept or technique, composition technique. If I just take the rhythmic element out and just play it as straight eighth notes, it sounds like this. And so if I move the right hand up a couple of octaves, I think you'll be able to see what's going on a little bit more clearly. So in the right hand, I just have this. And in the left hand, I have this. What I'm doing is just going right, left, so we end up with something that sounds like this. So now if I drop the right hand down an octave, and now if I drop the right hand down another octave, so it's literally on top of the left hand, you get this cool interlocking, overlapping pattern. So this is not a compositional technique that is limited to sort of industrial sounding boss music, but in fact I picked it up originally from an American composer called Steve Reich, who is associated with the Minimalist movement in New York. He wrote a piece called Piano Phase, which features this technique, and that's where I first came across it. And when I learnt the initial pattern from this piece, Piano Phase, I quickly realized that it could be generalized. The idea, the sort of concept behind the way that the material was created could be generalized, and I could start to kind of use it as a tool or a vehicle for just playing around, noodling and improvising. I'm going to do something a little bit more tonal this time. And just improvising. So here I'm again utilizing the pattern of having a group of two, or a sort of two note loop. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a 3 note loop. And it's the fact that it's a 2 and a 3, just as in the previous example, it was a 2 and a 3 interlocking, that overall, when you do right, left, and interlace them, it forms this sort of slightly longer, more complicated sounding loop. So again, with the octave separation, you can see and hear what's going on. So just the left hand on its own. And then the right hand on its own. And now if I drop the right hand down an octave, and if we speed it up a little bit, and what's nice is I can vary the top part, so rather than just going like this, I can maybe throw in another note from time to time, and you end up with something like this. And of course I can vary the bottom part as well. Something like this. So you can easily see how this sort of escalates quite fast. One kind of pattern that sounds good using this concept in a sort of prog rock or kind of Daft Punk sort of context is to do 2 with the right hand and 1 with the left. And for the right hand to do some octaves, say. And then to just do 1s with the left. So that's the left hand. And then if you kind of, I was just moving the top note around like that. You can kind of mix it up and just kind of go to 1s. Go to 3s. 2, 2. So this is left hand, right hand. And say we do left hand just ones, and then we do threes with the right hand. So just the right hand. And just adding ones with the left hand. Starts to get pretty cool. So you'll notice across the different examples, some of them, the notes were overlapping a lot of the two groups. Others were a bit more spaced out, like here they were quite spaced out. You know, I could just do one down here and one up here. Say. So I was just kind of down here with the left hand, and so that was all nice and spacious. So that's, you know, that creates a very open sound. But if you want that really intense, sort of dense kind of sound, you know, you can get really chromatic and just have the hands right on top of each other. Sounds particularly good when you do something a bit chromatic-y like that, sort of going down. You know, I'm sort of, I don't know quite what I'm playing there, but the point is I'm always keeping that right, left, and that maintains a bit of structure in some of the chaos there. Now, if we just go back to our original pattern, it was something like this. So what I was doing there was actually, rather than just continuing all the way through, I was actually just pausing and creating rhythm, but I'm still just alternating between left and right hand, so... Let me try and demonstrate other ways that we could use rhythm to create variety and kind of stop it from just becoming an endless stream of notes. So there I was just adding a little rest and then kind of resetting. So the pattern there is and. So this time I'm using groups of 3, 3 and 3. We could do something like this. I'm just using rhythm to kind of spice it up a little bit. So yeah, that's all I have for you this week. Just a really simple technique. Alternating the right and left hand. Shamelessly stolen from Steve Reich, Piano Phase. That's a great tune. If you don't know it already, go check it out. Thanks very much for joining me for another composing tip. I hope that was interesting. Let me know any questions you have in the comments. And in the meantime, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much for your attention.